Hello students, in this session we will see the signal flow graph problems. So this is the given problem. So first step, you know very well, we need to find out the forward path. So the first forward path is this one. So P1 equal to A12, A23, A34, A45 and A56. Then the next one more, we could find four forward path here. So the next one is nothing but P2, which is A13, A34 and A46. Next, P3, A12, A23, A34 and A46. Next one, P4, A13, A34, A45 and A56. Okay. So I could rewrite the formula as 1 by del P1 del 1, P2 del 2, P3 del 3 and P4 del 4. Now we need to find the loops. So in this we could find three loops, which is nothing but A12, A21, A34, A43 and A56, A65. So P11, P22, P33. Now we have two non-touching loops. So P11, P22 is not touching, P22, P33 is not touching, and P11, P33 is not touching. So I could name it as P12, P13, P23. Now for the three non-touching loops, all the three loops are not interacting with each other. So I could name it as P123. Okay. Now we need to determine the well. So as I told you, we have to take the formula according to this problem. As we are having three non-touching loops, I am stopping with that. So my formula becomes 1 minus P11 plus P22 plus P33 minus P1213 minus P123. So you know what is P11, P22. So just substitute it and rewrite the del. Okay. Now I need to find out the del K. We are having four forward paths. All the non-touching loops are touching the forward path. So del 1, del 2, del 3, del 4 equal to 1. So for finding out the transfer function, you know what is P1, P2, P3 and P4 and del. Substitute all the things. So this is my final transfer function. Now so in this problem, uh, they have given you this problem. You need to find out the forward path. If you could see the forward path, we are having only one forward path, that's the straight line, which is nothing but G1, G2, G3, G4. So I'm writing the same. So my transfer function becomes P1 del 1. Now I need to find out the individual loop. So the individual loops G13, so I'm marking it as P11. Now G7, G8, G6 is also one more forward path. So G7, G6, G8. Then G10, G11. So G10, G11. Then your G12, G7. So G12, G7. Then G9, G10, G2. G9, G10, G2. Then your G2, G9, G10. Then your G6, G11, G5, G3. And then the rectangle 9, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay. So we are having 7 loops here. Now let us move on to the next part, which is nothing. I'm writing the 7 loops again. The next one, we need to find out what are the loops are not touching with each other. We will see that. So I'll write the 7 loops. For the two non-touching loops, first let me consider P11. P11 and P44 is not touching with each other, so I could write it as P14. Then P11 and P33 is not touching with each other, so I could write it as P13. P11 and P55 is not touching with each other, so I could write it as P15. Okay, now I have to find out other loops are touching with each other. I have to find out three non-touching loops. There is no three non-touching loops. Okay, so for determining the del, I could stop with two non-touching loops. So I'm stopping with that. Rewrite the equation. So you will be getting the final del like this. Okay, sorry, just I'll show you again. This is my final del equation. Now let us move on to the next part, that we need to find out the transfer function. So for finding out the transfer function, we are going to have, so here we are having only one forward path, that is del 1. Del 1 is nothing but we have to check the part which is not touching with each other. If you could see my individual loop G13 and G12, G7, that is G7 is not touching. So and also this loop is, the triangle is also not touching. So P11, P22, P44 is not touching. Again for the two non-touching loop, P11 and P44 is not touching. So I could write my del 1 as 1 minus P11 plus P22 plus P44 plus P14. So rewrite the equation. So this is my del 1. Okay. Now, so this is P1 del 1. We have found all the parameters. Substitute all the things in this equation. So this is my final transfer function. Now, let us move on to the next thing, that is they could give you a block diagram reduction and they will ask you to find convert it into signal flow graph. So for converting it into signal flow graph, we are going to assign the branch points, the summing point, and the source as the nodes. So if you could see, I have marked all the summing points and the branch points as the nodes. Okay, so I'm marking with the green color. So here let me remove the summing point, mark the node, remove the summing point, mark the node, and again remove the summing point, mark the node.